Hey, Tom Rabbit! I hope you got this for your recording. Hey, YouTube out there. Tom Rabbit likes to record these. Hey, Tom Rabbit!
Really quickly, while we have you here, Alex, I'd like to ask you for your critique. I have another clip for you. This one's only like a few seconds long, but since you do have some expertise in logic, I was wondering if you could, if there is a fallacy or there's some error in the logic in this argument, if you could point it out to us. I'm gonna play it. Hang on a second.
How long is this clip?
It's only 11 seconds.
If it is the case that the Christian God exists, then I would believe that God exists. I believe God exists, therefore the Christian God exists.
Do you need to hear it again, or are you still thinking?
He said, if the Christian God existed, I would believe that he existed. I believe that he existed, therefore he exists, right?
That's correct.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's if P, then Q. Q, therefore P.
Q, therefore P.
That appears to be the form, yes.
Yeah. Cool. Do you need me to? You don't need me to spell that out, do you?
No, I do. I do.
We do.
Well, that's informally called affirming the consequent, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, not according to Darth.
Well, but it is though. I mean,
no, sir, it's not.
What's it called formally?
The one that Darth gave is a fallacy because it's, formally speaking, the truth of the premises is consistent with the negation of the conclusion.
Would you? Are you at all interested in talking to him again, Alex? I know it can be cumbersome and tedious at points, but they're actually quite entertaining, and he's willing to engage you in a way which he usually won't engage other atheists.
I think the thing with him is that he was just such an asshole to me after a while that I don't really enjoy having a shouting argument with someone.
Right.
Wasn't he saying that you were dishonest by the end? Like he was just claiming that you were dishonest and pretending to misunderstand his terms?
Maybe. I think he was saying some stuff about what's the wide, context, interpretive context, the widest possible context for that all meaning and stuff like that. And it was just like, I just genuinely don't know what you mean. I don't know what that means. And I think he either used it as an excuse to bail out of talking to me by just being so rude that I would obviously just go away and not bother him again. Or he genuinely doesn't believe me and thinks that that's some kind of textbook philosophical idea that I would definitely know about or something. So I don't know which of those two it is, but he was an asshole to the extent that I don't really enjoy that type of thing. So I don't really want to talk to him because he was a prick, basically. I mean, what am I getting out of it? Nothing. I don't want to be shouting.
Describe him as a dishonest interlocutor.
Oh, wait, are you saying you would if you got something out of it?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if I enjoyed it, I might be more inclined to do it. But it's not a pleasant thing to just have a shouting argument with someone. I don't really enjoy that type of thing. So
what about a speaker's fee? What about a speaker's fee?
What if you paid me? You mean?
Do you enjoy money?
Yeah. I don't think you'd realistically be able to give me enough money.
Wow.
I like that.
Clip it.
Wait, do you mean logically?
I mean, you're a philosopher PhD, right? So by that you mean, do you have $50?
What kind of modality are we talking about?
I'm just kidding.
You don't know how much money we have. Everyone has
Haiti.
Well,
I'm just messing around.
I would put in if it were an actual formal, not necessarily even a formal.
What's the number, Alex?
Just give us a number.
We'll crowdsource it. We'll do it. We'll make it happen.
Look, the thing is, he doesn't really need to be paid anything because, you represent a merit badge, right? So he's motivated to debate without money.
Whatever happened to charity?
Offered 1,000, wasn't he? Or
well, yeah,
Jack,
that's true.
Yeah.
Would 500 do it?
No, I think
No.
five figures is a well.
Oh.
5 figures. Oh my
shit.
god.
Does that include?
Oh,
Does that
because
include the
Dawkins
spend?
is so difficult. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
5 figures.
We could do
Yeah,
five
that's fair.
figures. Haiti, let's meet offline. Talk about this.
No, that's too rich for me.
For 5
But
figures, there's going to have to
Oh,
be a
come on.
weigh-in, and you're going to have to take pictures, like touching noses, looking at
Yeah,
each
yeah,
other very
yeah.
angrily. It's going to
Yeah,
have to be really hyped for 5
I
figures.
think you'd have to like all question what you're doing with your lives if you did raise that type of money for this.
But that's fine. That's all we do. That's what we do. We question our lives. We make bad decisions all the
Don't
time. That's
shame
how we got
us.
here.
Well, hey, you'd be the one debating. Don't look at us like that. Come on.
You're gonna have to start a foundation for this sort of thing, Tom.
Isn't there some sort of craft beer that you really wish you had?
The Rabbit Foundation
Very
for the
difficult to get.
the Rabbit Foundation for facilitating combat of the mind, or some shit like that.
Have you ever
No,
listened to, Alex, there's like a playlist of him talking to sort of like PhDs and prominent atheists like Graham Oppie and Lawrence Krauss, etc. Have you ever heard those?
I'm not interested in that really. I mean, I think it's just very easy to like steamroll or bamboozle someone like Graham, who's just like a nice man, who's not expecting like that type of vibe. Do you know what I mean? Like, obviously he is, he would, if he decided to sit down and like get it super into pre-sub, he would come up with a really like ingenious angle that would be really insightful and stuff like that. But is he going to like best everyone in like one-on-one kind of verbal combat? Don't think so. So it's just kind of like cringe and embarrassing watching someone ambush someone like that.
No, this is 100% correct, right? So like, it's like Discord debate tactics, right? Like this like cringe type of stuff here. And like anyone who's not familiar with this like cringe stuff or isn't expecting it, they could be made to look foolish. That's not hard. Like
that's right.
Like your average person in here who's doing this day in and day out could talk to like a PhD whatever and probably make them look stupid on something. So I 100% agree with you there. But what is kind of interesting is that Darth doesn't see it that way. He actually thinks that like, oh, like I used my Discord debate tactics on this guy and he had nothing. But when in reality, like Graham Oppie or Lawrence Krauss, if they were just given like a crash course on like these underhanded tactics, this is the type of thing he's going to do, say blah, 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 they would have, Darth would be completely like ineffective on them.
I think Graham Oppie did really well. I mean, maybe that's just me. I think he did pretty good.
Or just force Darth to be in a time debate, a proper time debate with actual controls that can lock him out, when he's being a dick. That would solve 90% of his tactical problems right there.
Well, I mean, Darth could submit his writing to a philosophy journal, right? That's also another way of doing it.
I didn't know they had a kids section in those journals.
I would pay to see that. That would be delightful.
Highlight coloring section.
But that's the right way to do it.
I think I have some footage of him defending his dissertation to the philosophy journal.
If it is the case that the Christian God exists, then I would believe that God exists. I believe God exists, therefore the Christian God exists.
That worldview analysis movement that happened in Germany 100 years beforehand. I just think there's actually like a kind of causal line. You can just see where this came from. And they're now using it as if it's a concept that can like, well, that contradicts their own myth of neutrality, but also like implausibly plays this role of being a neutral concept. And I just think all of that's just bullshit, basically. It's like, no, go away. That's my like attitude these days when that sort of stuff comes up. I think I've talked a lot about this in the past, and only infrequently does it sort of puncture back into my brain again and I start thinking about it. But yeah, it's fucking fraudulent bullshit, most of that stuff. The Van Pill thing, the more time passes, the more I just think it's just trash. It's just like worthless I just found this page after page of stuff that's like just rambling, especially Banson. It just says the same thing over and over again. And it's like, no, if you do close analysis of it, it's never getting to the point. Van Til never gave the transcendental argument. He always talked about it, and people claim he made it, but he never did. And that's just the fact at the end of the day. I think Banson occasionally says stuff that is an argument, but then you just go like, how do you justify premise one or whatever? And it's that question never gets answered. So like, it's just not that interesting. The thing that's interesting about Precept is just all of the peripheral issues that it brings up. Because someone will say something to you like, well, how do you justify the laws of logic? And you go, gee, I never thought about that before. That's an interesting topic. But it's not actually interesting because it's like a real, viable way of proving that God exists or something like that. Just, it's not. It's not even close. So, I guess that's maybe you. I'm rambling a little bit now, but that is broadly what I think.
If I were going to kind of summarize what you were saying, Alex, would it be fair to say that, in your opinion, Van Til and Bonson are trash?
I do think that's my view. I know it's going to annoy some people that I say that, but honestly, it just is. I have a bunch of their books upstairs. I'm never going to pick them up again. It's not going to happen.
Right. If that is the case, would you consider burning them in like a nice, like maybe possibly a TikTok or something like that?
No. No. But I would throw them away.
Go on to Tom Rabbit's channel, okay?